Every day in the USA, people find themselves in court.
Okay, and so let's go on the record in the matter of LVNV Funding versus Brandon Murdoch, 2402111. And counsel, your appearance, please.
Good morning, Your Honor, and I'll Jack Francis on behalf of Plaintiff's Attorney of Record, P72322.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Murdoch, your name for the record, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Brandon Murdoch, appearing in pro per.
All right, thank you very much. And so today is the date scheduled for pretrial as well as a motion for summary disposition. This matter had been adjourned from September because the parties had not participated in mediation per the court order. Parties were to mediate and have that scheduled, well, were to have this mediation scheduled as of September 12th. And then once that mediation date was set, then the plaintiff attorney was to email the court, and then there would be a pretrial rescheduled. Did mediation occur?
It did on 11/3/25.
Okay. And was there a resolution?
No, there was not.
Okay. You said November 19th?
November 3rd.
Oh, 3rd. Okay, so Mr. Murdoch, did you file an answer to the motion?
Did.
Was that filed yesterday? No, January 2nd, I see. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you submit an affidavit with your response?
I did.
The plaintiff did not get a copy of that.
Did you send a copy to plaintiff, Mr. Murdoch?
I did. I also filed a proof of service the same day I filed the response to the disposition as well.
So in reviewing your answer, Mr. Murdoch, are you alleging that this account was created in your name, but it was not you?
That is correct.
Did you complete an identity theft affidavit?
No, I did not.
Why not?
I didn't feel the need to. The LVNV, there's several disputed material facts. The plaintiff's alleging a $50 payment made in March of 2019 that essentially reset the statute of limitations at the 11th hour. I did not make or authorize that payment. My bank records, which I filed with the court, they showed no such payment. Additionally, the plaintiff's bill of sale does not identify me or a specific account number. I feel the plaintiff has not met its burden for summary disposition. They've failed to provide proof that this account was mine on several occasions now. It's not on my credit.
Sir, just one moment. Okay, let me have you raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear from the testimony you're about to give in this matter and the testimony you have given is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, so I'm hearing what you're saying, but my question is, I asked you why you did not complete an identity theft affidavit as plaintiff requested, and you said you did not feel it necessary. And that is because, why do you not find it necessary? If you're alleging it's identity theft, why do you find it unnecessary to complete identity theft affidavit for the plaintiff then to do their due diligence and investigation on their end to determine that aspect of it?
I felt that their affidavit that they sent me over was just shifting the burden of proof. I didn't feel that it was valid, and I didn't feel that they failed to provide anything to me proving that this account was mine. And I felt that that was a tactic by them to try to have me admit responsibility to this account. At the advice of my attorney, I was told to not fill that out.
Well, I don't have an attorney filed on your behalf. Did you have a retained attorney, sir?
Not for this. I just consulted with one that I know personally about this case.
Okay, so Ms. Francis, what does the identity theft affidavit look like? What does it request?
I believe I don't have one in front of me. I believe it just requests his information. It requests a police report copy. It requests for him to maybe, I think, maybe provide some handwriting sample or something like that. I'm sorry, I can't think of it on the top of my head, but it doesn't ask him to admit responsibility for anything, Your Honor. It's just asking for information so that we can look into his requests or his allegations. And I think it asks when he believes the fraud happened, things like that.
Okay, so sir, how do you find that that shifts the burden? If you're alleging that it was not you and that somebody's used your identity, how is that shifting the burden to you by completing information that the plaintiff is requesting so they can do their due diligence to determine whether or not there was fraud or identity theft that occurred?
In my opinion, it just showed the plaintiff lacked admissible evidence and they were trying to tie me to an alleged account. And I took the advice of somebody who deals with this on a regular basis and chose to not do it. LVNV Funding is not an authority body, and I just didn't feel the need to do that. They couldn't provide proof of a payment. I didn't feel the need to provide them with any of that information.
So you're making a claim of identity theft, and they have their procedure for due diligence to, on their end, gather that information to determine from their whether they believe that it's identity theft or not. They at least have that process by which they can do that. So I'm not sure, who is the attorney, sir, that you've spoken with?
It's actually our acting city manager where I work. He is a registered bar attorney.
Okay, where do you work?
City of Hamtramck.
Okay. And does the individual handle civil litigation disputes on a regular basis?
He does.
He does. In an attorney capacity or in a manager capacity?
In an attorney capacity.
So, counsel, I know you don't have the response, the answer to the motion for summary disposition, which was filed here, but so you'll have to get a copy of that. And Mr. Murdoch does indicate, and there's a proof of service that it was sent. What is the date that this account was opened, counsel?
It was opened January 11th, 2015.
And what's statute of limitations as it relates to this type of action?
6 years, Your Honor.
So 6 years would have been 2021.
No, statute of limitations is from the last activity on the account.
Okay, so 6 years without that $50 payment that's indicated, the statute of limitations would have been 2021.
No. There's also statements showing payments in multiple, hold on. I was just scrolling through. There's multiple payments on the account. One is in June of 2017. Let's see.
The last payment was $50 in 2019.
Correct.
What date?
March 22nd. The statements included in our motion for summary show other payments as well. There was another payment October 2017, June 2017, December 2017.
And counsel, does it show which accounts those were paid from?
No, the statements just show the payment being made and being credited. many times people do it online. So it's just shows as a payment.
Right.
And it has
So
the reference
if
number.
somebody's alleging identity theft, there's a way that you can determine from which account those were paid?
We cannot. They would have to provide that to show their accounts.
So your client doesn't have a way to determine which account was electronically paid, if it was paid electronically?
From which account?
Correct.
No.
And does it indicate if these were paid by check or online?
No, they just show as payments.
Can your client determine whether it was paid by check or online?
That would most likely they could determine that part. I believe that's part of the fraud investigation that would have occurred.
Okay,
However,
so
the statements did go to the same exact address where Mr. Murdoch does reside for all of those years, showing each and every payment and activity on the account.
okay, so Mr. Murdoch, during mediation, I'm not asking for specific conversations, but I'm going to presume that you informed plaintiff that you were disputing this because you are disputing that this was even you, correct?
Correct. And I asked for some sort of proof of where the payment came from. They did send me just a long list of redacted payments that showed no information whatsoever. I did provide the court with my bank statements for the time that the alleged $50 payment took place. It's the only bank account I've had for 20 years. You can also see in that there was no $50 payment made to Synchrony, LVNV, or anywhere where they claim it would have went to.
Okay, so and you sent that over in your answer to the summary disposition motion, correct?
I provided that to the court only because it does contain confidential financial information.
Okay, was there anything you send to the court that you're relying upon in your motion or your answer or for any purpose has to also be sent to the plaintiff?
I was told financial records do not need to be sent to the plaintiff, only the court. If that's incorrect, I apologize, but I was advised to only send those financial records to the court.
Well, sir, you're relying upon that as in support of your answer to the motion for summary disposition. So it has to also go to the plaintiff. Now, you've already indicated that that it's redacted, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So I'm unclear as to why, so you're stating that that this is not you, but then you don't want to, complete any information so that on the plaintiff's end, they can do their investigation and due diligence as to what information they have.
Your Honor, I do feel that should reciprocate. I've asked them on multiple occasions to provide some sort of proof to me, and they've also failed to do the same thing to me.
Sir, I'll address that separately. Okay, I'm not doing a tit for tat anything right here. What I'm indicating, sir, is that you're alleging that this is identity theft. There's a document that they require to be filled out so they can do their due diligence and investigation. So you have to fill that out, sir. And you also have to provide them with the lack of payment out of your account, which is something that she's indicated they requested so they can do their investigation as to where the payments came from.
They never requested that from me until just now during this hearing.
That was not requested during mediation when
No.
that issue was brought up?
No, it was not. I brought it up and it was not requested whatsoever.
Okay. So
I appeared at the mediation as well, Your Honor. I believe he had stated he would not complete the fraud affidavit. That's what we need.
I did not say that during the mediation.
okay, well, so now, sir, you're going to have to complete that affidavit so that they can conduct their investigation on their end. And counsel, I'm going to have you communicate with your client to provide the method of payment and where the payments were made from. And I know I'm positive your client can determine from which routing number ACH or what have you if it was paid electronically?
Your Honor, we would have to request that from the original creditor, so that does usually take a little bit of time. So if we could get enough time, then I'm sure we could get it.
Okay. Okay, would 60 days be sufficient time to gather that information, counsel, from the original creditor?
I would hope so. If you could give me
Okay,
one
so
moment, could I
my
call the person that would know how long it would take?
okay, my other question before we do that is once that ID theft affidavit is submitted, how long would that take to complete that portion?
Usually about 60 days as well.
Okay, so let's resume in 90 days then. That way, that will be enough time. Does that work for you, sir?
That works for me.
Okay. So we'll adjourn this to, let's do April 17th at 11 a.m. And I'm going to have you all in person. That way, if there's any documents that have to be exchanged, then everybody's in person to do so.
And Judge, will the defendant as well send the bank statements that he provided to the court to plaintiff?
Yeah, yes, I've indicated this as he's filed it with the court. He has to submit that also. And he's relying upon that in his motion. He has to also submit that to the plaintiff.
Your Honor, I do have an issue with that, though.
Okay, what is your issue with that, sir?
My issue with that is if I provide them my bank statements, they now have the last four of my account number. It's been known in the past that LVNV has forged documents to prove ownership of accounts.
I'm sorry. Whoa. I'm sorry. It's been proven where, sir?
I mean, it's well known. LVNV has a horrible reputation for this sort of thing. I feel
Okay,
that.
sir, let me just say this, okay? I am, you're stating it's well known. I'm not sure what you're speaking of because I have not, I don't have any of that information before me, nor do I have that information at all. Second of all, you are making a claim, sir, that this was not you, okay? So you've submitted bank statements with your pleadings to the court. What you submit to the court that you're relying upon in your pleadings must also be sent to the opposing party.
Okay. My main concern is I've asked multiple occasions to show for them to provide proof where these payments originated from, and they've been unable to do so. I wouldn't be shocked if we meet in person.
Now they're being ordered to do so, sir.
Right, but they'll also have my bank account information, which they were never able to get before. And I wouldn't be surprised if now suddenly, magically, they can show that it came from my bank account.
Sir, there will be a printout, whatever that may look like. And if their statement shows that it came from your bank account and your statement shows it doesn't come from your bank account, then there's clearly an issue somewhere. Correct?
I would agree.
Right. So that there would be a bigger issue for LVNV funding if there were fraudulent statements, evidence, or whatnot provided to the court. So I would presume that there would not be any fault. Well, I would expect that there would not be any false filings or pleadings submitted to the court, nor would there be any sort of alteration of any records. If it's determined that there's an alteration of records, then there is a much bigger issue that the plaintiff would have or otherwise. So, sir, you need to submit to plaintiff in full the documents that you submitted to the court that were supporting your answer to the motion for summary disposition.
And they'll be sending me a copy of what they find as well?
Yes, sir. I just ordered. You are also to submit the ID theft affidavit to the plaintiff. Plaintiff is to submit proof of where the payments were paid from to the defendant. Now, I'm also going to indicate that one is not relying upon the other. So you can't wait until you get proof of payment of where the payments were from before you submit your ID theft affidavit. Those are independent of each other. I'm ordering you to submit that because you've indicated that it's not you, and that LVNV Funding has indicated they need that affidavit to conduct their investigation. I'm ordering the plaintiff to submit proof of where the payments were paid from. Whether you submit that affidavit or not, sir, is not dependent upon whether or not they are submitting their proof of where the payment was paid from. However, they've made it very clear in conversations with you, even in your own response to the motion for summary disposition, that the plaintiff has requested an ID theft affidavit based upon your statement. So it would behoove you, sir, to complete that affidavit so there can be a proper investigation and due diligence completed of the account. It appears they cannot do that due diligence or investigation without having that document. And it appears the amount is about $443. Is that correct? Based upon the complaint?
$447.01.
Okay, so I would expect that that is not an extraordinarily large sum of money that would somebody would put their reputation at risk and subject themselves to criminal charges over $447.01. So that is the order of the court. And we will see you all back on April 17th at 11 a.m.
Your Honor, I'm not sure if we have Mr. Murdoch's email address. Could he provide that one more time just in case we do not have it?
Well, yes, I will have you do that. We'll go off the record for that. And I'll put the two of you in a breakout room so that Mr. Murdoch, you can provide your email address to Ms. Francis, and it's not on any public record. Okay?
Yep.
Is that sufficient for you, Mr. Murdoch?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We'll see you all back on April 17th. Have a good weekend. Don't log off yet. I'm going to put you both in a breakout room.
You as well, Judge. Thank you. And
Yep.
after that, we can log off. We don't have to come back in.
Yes, that's correct. So I'll put you both in a breakout room too. Have a good day.
You too.
Oh, the funding company wants $447. But Brandon says this mystery